Have you ever been sitting peacefully, enjoying a quiet evening, when suddenly fire shoots through your body and every pore starts to sweat as if you just ran a marathon? And it seems as if the entire world is conspiring against you to make you feel as uncomfortable as possible? Well, welcome to the awful world of hot flashes. So what are you to do? Open the freezer door and stand in front of it all day? Strip down to your skivvies and stand in front of the fan? Or pray to the baby Jesus that this cup too shall pass? Or just sit back and accept the fact that this is how the change of life is going to be? But what if it never gets better? What if it doesn't change? Perish the thought! Today we will debunk the myths and misconceptions surrounding hot flashes. In the next few minutes, you will learn the truth about hot flashes, what they are, what makes them so uncomfortable, but most importantly, how you can eliminate or skip them altogether. Today, we're joined by women's health expert and natural hormone guru, Jackie Harvey. Jackie Harvey is the publisher of naturalhormoneguru.com, which is a culmination of her vision and passion to see women everywhere experience overall health and natural hormone balance. Before Jackie was a natural hormone guru, she was an accountant, a wife to her husband Jerry, and mother to 7 children, 5 of which are daughters. But when her body began to betray her and traditional medicine suggested surgery, God took her on a different path. Jackie firmly believes that that different path saved her life, her daughters' lives, and the lives of countless other women. She has conducted hundreds of seminars called Let's Talk About Hormones, which has educated thousands and thousands of women. Jackie also worked alongside best-selling author and world-renowned hormone expert, Dr. John Lee. She is an ardent supporter of saliva testing and has created an all-natural, proven hormone balancing system which helps women balance their hormones and maintain that balance. She has been a tireless advocate for women's health for the last 30 years. Jackie, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Deanne.
So to be totally honest, I have not experienced hot flashes. But I do remember the very first time we went over my first saliva review results. It revealed that I was definitely estrogen dominant. But the good news at the time was I wasn't exhibiting any outward symptoms or signs. And you told me that if I started the program and got a hold on my hormone balance and my hormone health, that I could actually sail through menopause without experiencing hot flashes at all. How is that possible?
Well, I still tell women that, and that's possible because hormones don't rebalance on their own. So women that have hot flashes usually start when they're younger, sometimes as early as the 40s, but sometimes even the mid-30s. And they often don't exhibit themselves as hot flashes, they exhibit themselves as night sweats. But if younger women are developing night sweats, then hot flashes are on the way. So resolving the night sweats right at that point is important because those things don't correct on their own. Hormones are actually subsiding as women age. We're not producing more. And so if they go out of balance really young, in the 30s and early 40s, they're not going to get better by the 50s. And so that's where we say, you know, if you want to have an easy menopause, better resolve the issues early, as soon as they rear their ugly heads, and maybe even before would be best.
So, in simple terms, what are hot flashes and what causes them?
Well, that's interesting too, because doctors often feel that hot flashes are a result of estrogen that's dropping, and that's just not true. Dr. Geraldine Pryor, an endocrinologist at the University of British Columbia, has shown that hot flashes actually result from a surge of estrogen because the ovaries are kind of causing that surge, and estrogen levels will increase 30% higher than normal. So it's that surge in estrogen, then it falls back, and then another surge of estrogen, then it falls back. So those surges are what is causing hot flashes. And so it's not lowering estrogen at that juncture. It's simply too much estrogen. And usually it's estrogen unopposed by adequate progesterone.
And we recently did a video on estrogen dominance. I really encourage you to go check out that video. It has some great information about estrogen dominance. So Jackie, we know that hot flashes are basically caused by estrogen dominance. What other problems are caused by estrogen dominance?
Well, estrogen dominance produces a myriad of symptoms. And so some of those would start even younger than the 30s with mood swings and anxiety issues, making sure that the menstrual cycle is operating correctly. That will be due to estrogen dominance. If the menstrual cycle, too much heavy bleeding, that kind of thing, that will be estrogen dominance as well. Of course, when women get into menopause, estrogen dominance will still manifest itself, and that will be partly attributed to some of the brain function things, the foggy thinking and the memory loss and things that go along with that. So estrogen dominance can actually manifest itself right from the time that a woman begins to menstruate till even long after she's finished menstruating.
So why is it so important to have an adequate balance between estrogen and progesterone?
Well, progesterone is the hormone that keeps estrogen in check. So let's consider the hot flashes for the moment. So if estrogen is surging and spiking really high and dropping down and spiking really high and dropping down, then it's very difficult to maintain a balance with progesterone at that time. And this hot flashes usually develop at a time when progesterone is very low for women. And so they have a deficiency of progesterone, they have this excess of estrogen. So if it were possible to get those two hormones back into balance, the hot flash would stop.
So Jackie, I recently read a stat from the North American Menopause Society, and it says roughly 80% of women experience hot flashes during perimenopause. And it says that these women experiencing hot flashes during perimenopause guarantees that they will be a victim of hot flashes during menopause. Why is this statistic so high?
Well, I think that one of the things is that women have probably, by the time they get to perimenopause, been on the birth control pill or some sort of hormonal ingredient that throws their hormones out of balance. And so when you begin into perimenopause with a hormone imbalance, it's not going to recorrect. And further to that, we know that these women are still menstruating. And this is something to keep in mind. In perimenopause, they're still having menstrual cycles and they're hot flashing. So, it's not a lowering of estrogen, and I can't say that enough. It's more than likely that they have too much estrogen, not enough progesterone, and it's contributing to their hot flash. And it's starting maybe even 10 years before perimenopause. But in perimenopause, it really starts to hit because their progesterone bottoms out. They stop ovulating every cycle. So they're still menstruating, but they stop ovulating. So that's kind of the key trigger in perimenopause. And that's going to set them up for lots of hot flashes.
But even with all of that, Jackie, there's an answer. You've been working with women for over 20 years to help them balance their hormones naturally. And you've developed a proven all-natural hormone balancing system. It's a 3-step program. Would you please explain the program?
Step 1 is always to do a saliva test. We think it's real important to evaluate what your hormone levels are. And it's not just about evaluating progesterone. It is about evaluating your estrogen. Find out if your estrogen is fluctuating in the absence of adequate progesterone. That would be very important. For women in menopause, they need to evaluate their testosterone levels because testosterone is really influenced by insulin. And it is testosterone's conversion to estrogen that causes the hot flashes in menopausal women. And so evaluating your testosterone level, very important as well. Stress also has a factor when it comes to hot flashes. The more stressed we are, the more hot flashes we develop. So evaluating the adrenal produced hormones, very important. So saliva testing is absolutely imperative if you want to resolve your hormone imbalance if you're having hot flashes. Step 2 is you need to take control of your own hormone health. Because a test isn't the only thing that's going to help you. In fact, a test won't help unless you do something with the information. So going on a hormone balancing program is key, absolute key to restoring those hormone levels. And then third step is to reevaluate your hormone levels on a regular basis. So hormones change over the years. So from premenopause to perimenopause to menopause, the hormone levels will dramatically change, and they will decline, but they will decline appropriately so that you are healthy and well if you're on top of your game and watching through a saliva test.
Why are you so confident this will work?
Well, I've helped thousands of women, literally thousands. We've shared this message with audiences of over 100 for longer than I like to think, but I've been teaching this for more than 20 years, and to very large audiences, and all across the country, Canada and the U.S., and we find the same thing happening. You know, I want women to know that they're not alone, for one thing, that the symptoms that they're facing are being faced by lots of women, but we've resolved and helped women resolve their own hormone problems. And the good thing about a saliva test and a hormone balancing program is you can do this all yourself. You don't need a physician to intervene. You can do this yourself. You can now evaluate yourself, and you can do your own hormone balancing program, and we'll help every step of the way. It's very easy to do.
Thank you, Jackie. Wow, I was so fortunate to discover hormone balance before I ever experienced a hot flash. But just because you don't feel anything doesn't mean that it's not there. If you're a woman over the age of 20, you are most likely estrogen dominant. Listen, estrogen dominance is not your friend. Not only does it cause hot flashes, sleep problems, affect your love life, it affects so much more. Think about it. If you had a carbon monoxide leak in your house, would you just leave it because you couldn't see or smell it? Of course not. Estrogen dominance can be just as deadly, if not dealt with. So let's do something about it. We've made balancing your hormones naturally ridiculously simple. Simply go to maxalive.com and subscribe to our all-natural hormone balancing program. It has everything you need to get started, including the saliva test to prove it. And I make this no-risk promise to you. If you don't absolutely love the way you feel, we will refund your money, no questions asked. So if you suffer from hot flashes and you want them to go away forever, or if you're like me and you never want to experience hot flashes, do the smart thing. Simply go to maxalive.com and subscribe to our all-natural hormone balancing program and experience overall health through natural hormone balance. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon. Thank you for watching this Max Alive video. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and when you do, hit the bell to be notified every time a hot new video is dropped. Also, log on to maxalive.com to get more information about our natural, proven, and guaranteed program.